Eric mentioned that we're going to be coming to a kind of difficult part of our schedule, but not before we have to go through this really easy stretch that's coming our way. So the combined record of our next 6 opponents is 30-93. These next 6 opponents are Atlanta, back to playing Washington again. We have Detroit 2 times in a row. Oof. We have the Charlotte Hornets, and then we have the Chicago Bulls. The Detroit Pistons, if you don't know, are on an 18-game losing streak. So there you go. So we can play those two times this week. So that'll be fun. So my question to you guys is: would anything other than a 6-0 week be a disappointment?
I mean, I think we need to win those games. If we're talking about home court advantage, we need to win those games. But 6-0, I mean, I would be fine with 5-1. 4-2 maybe, but if we're serious about getting home court advantage, we have to win. We have to win. 5 or 6 of those games. I mean, 4-2. I mean, you look at it from the Bulls standpoint. Bulls have beaten some good teams before, and Atlanta have beaten some good teams. So it's not like we're playing teams that, like I'll be disappointed if we lose to the Pistons. Yeah, we shouldn't lose. Yeah. Charlotte's beaten some good teams. They have. So those teams can, Washington has beaten us before, even though, recently we've kind of had their number, but
they almost won that game.
So that's why I say 4-2 wouldn't shock me. It would probably start my little disappointment a little bit. 4-2 would.
I would be disappointed with 4-2. 5-1 wouldn't shock me because we tend to kind of have letdown games against inferior opponents. We almost lost against Washington. If we didn't get hot at the end of that fourth quarter, and if Kuzma didn't have to guard Embiid for the last couple minutes,
that's what I'm talking about.
They play pretty well, man.
So the Detroit games are what, home and home?
I think it's split, actually.
I have the schedule up right here. It's split at Detroit, then 2 days later at Philly. We got 2 at home straight. Atlanta at Philly, Washington at Philly, at Detroit, and then Detroit at Philly, and then at Charlotte, and then back at home for Chicago. So a little mini all-star break for them.
Yeah, we should win it all.
If Harden was still on our team, this would be the week they would tell him, all right, go ahead and go back to Houston or go to Vegas and have a good time, man. You don't have to play for the next few days. Yeah, I would be 30-93. That's insane. That's crazy. Like, if you say it that way, it's like, man, I don't want to lose any of those games. But yes, the 2 that you said, Chicago and Atlanta, those are the ones I could swallow a little better than the other ones. Especially with Chicago actually looking pretty good without Levine, which is interesting. They're playing more like a team now without him. So yeah, I mean, I expect us to go 6-0. I'm gonna, like, every time we do a game prediction, I'm gonna pick the Sixers against these teams every single time. But it wouldn't shock me if we had one clunker in there, especially if we rest guys too, right? Because like, if you're gonna rest guys, this would be the stretch to do it. 1 or 2 of these games.
Yeah. Especially with the sickness going around too. You never know who could, catch something.
Or just kill teams by the third quarter and, Embiid doesn't play in the fourth like we did earlier in the season.
Save their legs, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the 30-93 record, it is kind of skewed because we played Detroit twice on there. So you're writing that record twice in there.
It makes it really bad. It's like, whoa.
Yeah. I feel for Monty over there. I think Monty will, flip the switch and turn that around at some point. Yeah. I think their name has been tied to Levine. That's been a possible rumor. Detroit trading some of their young pieces to get Levine. So interesting how that whole thing will work. So the next topic we got. Yeah. Well, I think right now, I think based on all the reports, Levine ain't coming to Philly. So I mean, and I think the I saw a report Lakers aren't interested in LaVine anymore. I think that's what I read. I think they're interested in DeRozan, but they're playing well right now with DeRozan kind of manning the ship.
And Caruso.
And Caruso, yeah.
But they're saying Caruso's their biggest trade chip they have right now. Like that's like they don't want to trade him because I saw some weird report yesterday. They don't want to trade Caruso because he's like their best success story in like a long time for Chicago.
I mean, what? He wasn't even their success story. I mean, he panned out with the Lakers and then came over to you guys.
Yeah, I don't understand, but
how you don't run a franchise in 2023. There you go, Chicago.
Yeah.
I've had it.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. We'll save that for the Bulls podcasts.